Welcome back to Chitchat Thailand, or Thailand Chitchat. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening in the economy in Thailand, and as well as some of the bad press that's been going out there. We haven't been on for a little while. Just want to change the format slightly, just looking at how to do this and deal with more topics. If you get any ideas or any thoughts of what you would like us to discuss, please just add to the comments. And we'd like to see your response to this format as well. Today we're talking about the economy, etc. And we've got Craig, who's been a regular contributor, and we'll go through that. So Craig, just quickly, what's happening in Pattaya just now? Is it busy? Is it quiet? Or just to get an idea?
The answer to that, I was chatting to a friend of mine the other day that runs one of the largest sports bars in Pattaya, and he was saying that he was having, his quietest month he can ever remember. So I think, again, from that sort of demographic, from, maybe British and Australian and those sort of people that go to sports bars around the Soy Buakhao area, you've got a large reduction. Of course, we do have a lot of Indians and seem to be quite a few other Asian tourists around. And also chatting to a mate of mine that's the GM of the Avani, he was saying that he's pretty much always, full. He has some big going on and that type of thing. So I think, it depends on what demographic you're looking at as far as busy versus not busy goes. But at the end of the day, no, it's pretty quiet, but sometimes you can walk around and it doesn't feel too quiet, if that makes sense.
Right, but just to explain, what we've been seeing on the internet is, Thailand's in big trouble, it's dead, everyone's going to be closing their businesses, etc. This is just a little bit too much. This is part of the reason of doing this podcast. The fact is, if you're looking at tourism, this is the low season. This is the lowest part of the year. Because it's monsoon time. What we have had quite an influx. We had the Chinese maybe last year, and over Chinese New Year, it gets a little bit busier. It wasn't the same levels as it has been in previous years, and there's some reasons for that, which we'll go into later. And we've had a lot of Russians coming in, and it also depends where you are: Pattaya, Phuket, Hua Hin, Bangkok. We also had a lot of tourists coming in because they changed the visa rules, and that was Indians, but they're not spending the same. I think it was just Indians and others. There's others as well. What's your thoughts on what's happening, Craig?
As I say, I think if you look at the short-term tourists element to Pattaya and of course Hua Hin as well, which is actually where I'm sat at the moment. Then, as you say, it is the lowest of the low season, right? So inevitably, we are going to get what appears like, a bad state of economy. We're always going to get the doomsayers anyway, as you know, because that's just the nature of the way people are. But I think if you look at the future of Pattaya as a whole, in terms of development and the money being invested in the infrastructure, especially in areas like Hua Yai, more people moving away from Bangkok there, I think the future is very, very positive. And obviously we spoke about it many times in the past about, people basically had enough of the political merry-go-rounds that exist in Europe and the US and looking for, a better quality and a better value cost of living and a general better life. So I think longer term, everything's good. Looking at the short term, micro tourist situation, then we're in the low season right now, but nothing to worry about long term.
Yeah, well, that's my opinion. Yeah, but I mean, there's the worries that everybody's got because of the economy, tariffs, etc. So there's a bit of negative sentiment in the business elements. But I think also this clickbait is a bit annoying me. Where people are saying like the Chinese, a lot of people didn't come from China as they did the previous year because there was which was a true threat. There was kidnappings that were going on. There was some high profile ones to do with the border scam centers. But I'm not saying you ignore it.
Had a negative effect on a lot of other things, right? Such as the opening of bank accounts for people here on visas. I know that's another thing. When you had this problem with the Chinese when they were, the money laundering. This has now triggered more problems for, people that are looking to come and reside here. Because again, I don't know the nuances of it all, but my understanding is that, opening bank accounts in order to facilitate your retirement visa is now a lot more difficult than it once was, and people are getting caught in this chicken and egg situation where you've got to have the 800,000 baht parked in the bank account, but it's not very easy to open the bank account on that visa anymore because of some of these problems that have happened. So I think there is a bit of, I suppose, saying before, I'm very positive about the longer term outcome. I am, but I also think, as you say, which is an issue that Thailand does struggle with, is a lot of these uncertainties as well. You've seen all these stories about these companies that have nominees that own land and property and that sort of thing that used to be kind of a normal way of doing business. Apparently, this is now illegal. People are getting into trouble for it. It is scaring people off a little bit, and then obviously uncertainty is something which markets detest.
But that shouldn't really affect tourism, yeah? Because tourism are here for 10 days, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is. So there's been some confusion. Has been some chopping and changing of the visas, yeah? Where some people were getting visa on arrival. Now they're bringing it back the TM30, the TM3, the TM7, whatever it is. Yeah? So before we had to fill out a card, now we've got to fill out something online, yeah? That's for tourism. Yes, there's the same painful things like your 90-day reports, which now where if you left the country, it started from your first start. It still does, but it starts from the date you arrive, and then you get 90 days, and then you do the report. But now, because you've left the country, you have to physically go to the immigration to report your 90 days. You can't do that first one online. If you don't leave for another 90 days, you can put your online application in. So but these are stupidities if you've lived here, which we've all faced.
Well,
we've just learned to deal with. But what my point...
My visa renewal personally, which is, messed up my plans a little bit. So when I was supposed to travel, whereby I think this is my ninth, extension of stay on the 1 year non-immigrant marriage visa, and every time they give me 1 month and then I have to extend it by 11. And why don't they just give me 12 months?
But that's been I've been here 37 years, and it's been the same for every time. You do your application, and then basically it's a month for them to decide, yeah, or 2 weeks, whatever it is, and then they take it back from the point of your application, not from the point of when they stamp it, yeah. But that has been the norm. But as I said, if you're living here, you're going to face certain issues like in other countries. Like try applying for a Schengen visa. The hoops you have to go through for that.
I was just going to say, yeah. There's always going to be issues, as you say, around that. And at the end of the day, I suppose it's not as bad as we think. We just feel that sometimes if we've been here a long time, we should maybe get a little bit preferential treatment, perhaps to those that haven't. And that's not something which we get in Thailand. I mean, coming back to the actual, as you say, the tourism, yeah, I think it's down when it comes to perhaps, the soy cow type areas, the sports bar I was mentioning before earlier in this. But I think overall, you've still got enough in terms of, the higher end market and that sort of thing. Probably Thais doing weekends away in 5-star resorts, people staying in the higher end places, and there's still enough, I think, going for that level of tourism.
But have you not seen more of the reports of this fight in Bangala or something happening in Walking Street, and it gives the impression that you're walking into a 1970s New York or Glasgow, where don't go there, it's dangerous. Where really, if you analyze it, what you've got, pardon my language, you've got a few asses, yeah, who are drunk at 3:30 in the morning, and they've been approached by somebody, whether they're male, female, or in between, yeah, and they're getting into trouble, yeah, or they're mouthy or whatever it is. Like you get anywhere, any city centre in the UK, you got someone who's drunk, and it seems, but it makes out as if it's a dangerous place because it's clickbait, it's news to people, and it's giving the wrong impression. Because I've been in Pattaya, and whether I've been ski with or whatever it is, never a problem. Or in Phuket, never a problem.
I agree, and to a certain extent. I mean, I think certainly, like you say, I mean, Pattaya and Thailand in general, compared to the number of kind of violent incidences that would take place on any given night, is minimal compared to what happens in other parts of the world. But at the same time, I am hearing stories from guys that run bars that they are encountering, again, sound a bit snobby saying this, a lower class, kind of guy that would normally be, on holiday in Spain or Iraqi or whatever. Things like walking around with a top off. One of my mates who runs one of the big sports bars, again, says he's had a few problems here. The young guys come in, they're in their early 20s, walking around with their top off. He politely says, do you mind this bar here? You need to wear your top. They're getting told to F off, that sort of thing. I'm not sure that happened that long ago. I think definitely the relaxation of drugs, and obviously we all know that the cannabis is very legal, so these guys are often high as a kite. And I think also, whilst there'll always be a few people that get into trouble for it, I think pretty much the police turn pretty much a blind eye to quite a lot of harder drugs like cocaine and that now as well. So you've got these younger guys who are fueled on weed, cocaine. They're from more of a kind of aggressive sort of background. They're troublemakers basically. And I think you are seeing a few more of that type of people there. That said, as you said, certainly a million miles away from being considered a dangerous place.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that maybe we can give, so if someone's visiting or coming here, some advice to people. Yeah, on when I say how to behave, I'm trying to be a grandfather or a mother or something like that. But
Yeah.
basically, some tips are: number one, if there's some hassle from a Thai, because maybe they're drunk or whatever it is, because if you're in a go-go bar or something like the girls drink, yeah, and they can get leery sometimes, just walk away, yeah. Don't fight back. If you got a bill and it's a little bit, they've charged you a little bit more and you're not keeping an eye on it, yeah, just pay it, yeah. It's not maybe it's 100 baht or 200 baht or a drink or two drinks more or whatever it is, which is rare in itself, yeah. Just pay it, yeah, and just walk away and
Yeah,
just
100%.
don't go
I mean,
back.
it is still the situation. I certainly believe in this country that it's not a coincidence that it's the same people that seem to have, problem after problem after problem.
Yeah,
It's nothing to do with the country and the environment they're in. It's to do with that person. And touch wood, as you say, I've been here 10 years, and yeah, possibly I've had my bill padded a couple of times. Perhaps I've been, maybe not too drunk, but perhaps I've just not noticed. I can only actually remember one time when I did notice. And again, I pointed it out, had a word with the manager, and like you say, paid the bill, walked out. Know very well never to go back into that bar again. And of course, speak to other people and say, don't go back into that bar again.
yes,
So yeah, it's very simple if you want to. That said, like I say, I think there is a few more issues to deal with, and the police are pretty busy. And the situation before where you were dealt with in a really severe manner. I'm not sure that's always the case that it once was either. Now with some of these guys that get into a bit of trouble, pay a bit of money, a little bit of apology because they don't deal with the workload. They
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to deal with the
I
work.
think on the side of the police suggestion would be have more police uh, patrolling. Same thing as we said back in the UK, the old bobbies. Even that's before my time. But you had the bobbies walking down. They should have more police in these areas. So when there's a problem, they can deal with it straight away. Because obviously they're called if there's a problem. I know that in Bangkok, you get Soy Cowboy, you get police at one end, and it's not a long street. They deal with things straight away. So there's never any really
Yeah.
issue at all down there.
Or even the tourist place. I mean, not that I ever go to Walking Street really, but I mean, there was always that like area, wasn't there, where the tourist piece would be at the start of
Yeah,
Walking Street. I'm not sure. Yeah, having maybe something like that in a Soy Six. at certain popular areas in Storybook Cow. I think that would be a very good idea, like
Yeah,
you say, and
patrolling, walking
it
up
just
and
gets
down, walking up and down, just patrolling it. Yeah, it builds a community, and the girls feel safer as well. Yeah, but also, I think another suggestion on that front is on the security side. We've got bouncers who are not trained, who are just guys who are maybe motorcycle boys, whatever it is, how to defuse a situation. You don't go up and start beating the hell out of them, because like everything else, it builds up. There's a pack of dogs. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it on the videos that are in clickbait, as I said. Yeah, they all come in as a pack. Yeah, and attack an individual, which gives a terrible impression. Yeah, so maybe they should be start licensing bouncers. Yeah, like they did back in the UK. After the 80s and 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, you're talking about a country here that doesn't license its electricians or its, carpenters. So, to expect them to have security to be under some sort of regulation, I think is
I
maybe
don't even know.
maybe a few years.
Do they have to register security people or what? I'm not sure. I got no idea.
I would doubt it.
Yeah, it's maybe ex police or police or whoever. Yeah. So any other suggestions on how people should behave? Yeah. Don't go out after 3:30 in the morning or something like that, or what?
No, like you say, the situations, they appear a lot more prevalent than they are because of the world we live in and because of the social media and because something gets shared, a million times. Of course, I mean, for years, I suppose people have always been around taking videos of this stuff, but now it's just how far reaching it gets because of the size of, media, social media in particular, which again, like you say, I don't think gives a fair impression of the city. But I think with the high season approaching, I don't think it would be a bad idea, like you said, if there was a few ideas brought into play, like more of a police presence, like making things a bit clearer as to the punishments and the penalties involved if you do cross that line, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen. Thanks very much, Craig. It was just thought we should discuss this. As I said, what we're trying to do is come across with more topics as opposed to how many people are tourists are in Pattaya, how many people are in Hoa Hin, etc. Yeah. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching the show. Please give your comments, and we'll see you again later. Thank you very much.